Good evening, and welcome to this special victory edition of CBC-EP Nightly News, live from the victorious capital of Oasis in Canada. I'm your host, Captain Obvious. Let's dive right in. On the 20th of April, an unprovoked attack by the nations of France, Pacific, and Amazonia on the Canadian capital of Oasis shocked the world. 3 days later, the Battle of Oasis would end in jubilation as our nation of Canada would prevail, having successfully defended our capital. On both the morning of the second and final days, the attackers were leading by about 50,000 points. However, our dedicated forces, with the help of our allies, would constantly push back against the foreign invaders, gaining back mass amounts of points and setting a record for most points earned in a battle session at 78,305. When all had been said and done, our nation had won by just over 50,000 points. The aftermath of the battle was focused on cleaning up the war zone, which was cluttered with various structures and craters of various sizes. After a successful cleanup, a church was built on top of the war zone, and a makeshift community bulletin board of signs had been established in front of the church, filled with various messages roasting the defeated nations. Later that evening, a victory party was held at the rooftop of God Tyrant's house, the King of Canada. About 20 to 30 people would show up, most from allied nations that fought with Canada, but after a PvP area was set, some Pacific and French citizens would come to crash the party. I have with me, standing by, the Duke of Ontario, Rio Jackson 68, with a royal address written by the King of Canada, God's Tyrant, regarding our nation's victory at the Battle of Oasis.
After 3 gruesome days of war, the Battle of Oasis has finally ended with our great nation of Canada reigning victorious. As a bearer of good news, I would like to thank our valiant and loyal allies, Alaska, O-Block, East March, Japan, and Korea, and the defense of Oasis and Canada as a whole. We would also like to thank the many other players that came from nations all around the world to help us against the imperialistic French and the mercenary PvP nations of the Pacific, Madagascar, and the Amazonian Empire. We are forever in your debt, and will do the same as you have done for us in this war against France and our allies. As a nation, we have learned many things from this war, and will take this new wisdom and apply it to make Canada an even greater nation. As we take this victory from the hands of the French, we will strive to improve our national defense, which will be including our capacity to carry out war. This is our first win in a direct siege, and we are happy with it, considering that we are mostly made of role players. However, this will not be Canada's last battle. In the stormy days ahead, there will be fighting. We seek to end this war with France, but if need be, we will take up arms as many as times until others know that we cannot be pushed around. Long live Canada, and may God keep Canada safe.
Thank you, Duke, for that speech. That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching this special victory edition of CBC-EP Nightly News, live from the victorious capital of Oasis in Canada. This is Captain Obvious signing out. Tune in next time.